5.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is session 107, and we're going to jump into a little bit of a recap. Previously, in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party found themselves stepping into a miniature castle perched atop a tall spire in the middle of the 7th level of Undermountain. They were here seeking information about the Halaster, an artifact that Ezrah carries, a piece of his past, and apparently an item of great interest to the wizard Calabash. They were also investigating the trickster that plagued the stone giants that lived below the spire, though they had no guarantees that this place held the answers they sought. The castle was eerily quiet, but thankfully much warmer than the land below. Whatever the icy, mind-numbing chill that pervaded the lands below, it did not reach up to the castle. Finding themselves with no clear indication on where to look, the party did what they do best: began exploring wherever they thought seemed most interesting. The door straight across from the entrance opened into a large, open-air courtyard with beautiful flowers of differing colors in each of the 4 corners. In the center of the garden was a helmed stone statue of a mage holding aloft a spellbook. During their investigation of the courtyard, the party noticed 3 interesting things. First, the helm of the statue was metal, not stone, and it came off. Within it was a stamp proclaiming it the property of one Madgoth, and that it was a replica of the greatest helm ever. Second, the spellbook of the statue seemed to be engraved with an actual spell that Ezrah took a rubbing of. And third, the statue was pointed towards the southwest patch of flowers, which seemed strange. Upon investigating the various flower patches, the party found nothing odd even after Ashes spent time digging in one of the flower beds. But they did discover that there was a seam on the base of the statue, and though they could find no means to move it, no means to do it, they were certain that the statue could move. As the party began to wrap up their investigation of the courtyard, they heard movement outside from where they had come, accompanied by a strange grunting and chuffing sound. And then, quite suddenly, they were confronted with an odd, gray-skinned creature with a squished face, dog ears, and leathery wings. It stared, mouth agape at the party, seemingly surprised and irritated by their presence. And then it lunged in to attack them. The party reacted swiftly, expert fighters, and leapt to defend themselves. The creature, though seemingly vicious, was unskilled, wild in its strikes, and the party cut it down with ease. But as it fell, the strangest thing happened. Its form liquefied, and then evaporated, leaving behind no trace of the creature. Ezrah had a nagging itch in his mind about the beast, but was unable to pin the thought down. And so, the party continued exploring, deciding to head westward. Here they found a doorway with a copper piece stuck in the frame. Matashtai had the thought that perhaps something was marking the door to see if it had been opened or closed, and so pocketed the copper piece and marked the spot where it had been. Inside the room, they found a hoard of random items, mostly broken or unusable in some way, and many others serving seemingly no purpose. After some brief investigation and some more destruction from Ashes involving some garden gnomes, the party left. Matashtai made sure to replace the copper piece, thus potentially secreting their passage. Further north, they found a privy/powder room, one that was quite lavishly appointed, in fact. But while they were investigating the place, they were confronted again by another one of the gray-skinned winged creatures they had fought before, only this one seemed to recognize them. Having the idea that perhaps this creature was the same as the creature before, the party tried to communicate with it. But while the creature seemed to understand their speech, it did not speak back. Matashtai tried speaking to it telepathically and found its mind shielded against intrusion. The creature attacked again, though its attitude seemed almost begrudging. The party tried to subdue it rather than kill it, hoping perhaps they could figure out a way to communicate with it. But the creature bit its own tongue in response, and once again liquefied and evaporated. Once again, Ezrah felt like he recognized the creature somehow, but couldn't place the information. Now convinced that this creature was somehow coming back to life, the party decided to look for where it had come from. They found a study that had been shredded. Books, furniture, everything torn to pieces as if by an ill-mannered pet that had been left alone too long. In the southern portion of the room, next to a writing desk, was a strange bronze lamp with an odd gray fruit hanging from it. As the party watched, the fruit grew larger. They concluded that this must be the creature, and at that moment, things finally clicked in Ezra's mind. This creature was a homunculus, a mage's familiar, bound to the life force of that which created it, and immortal as long as that mage lived. Only homunculi were normally tiny, harmless. The creature was quite big and, while unskilled, could definitely harm them if left unchecked. For some reason, it didn't seem affected by the castle's shrinking effect. In this same room, the party also found a doorway leading to another chamber. The frame of the door was made of sturdy metal, but the glass panes of the door had been shattered, letting the party see beyond into a strange study. The walls were covered in wands, scepters, orbs, and there was a desk made of tomes lacquered together, an odd full-body mirror with the homunculus's head as a frame, and an open iron chest. Bones tried picking the lock, and though he failed, he was certain he could achieve the task with time. But that fruit was getting larger by the second, and the party was sure it would spawn the homunculi once more. Ashes decided to try to brute force the door down and was knocked on his backside for his trouble, then hit with a beam of force as some magical deterrent activated. It seemed that the party had no choice. If they wanted in the door, they would have to wait for Bones to pick the lock. In order to avoid facing off against the homunculi once more, Matashtai ripped the now football-sized fruit from the lamp, and it liquefied the exact same way as the homunculi. It then immediately began regrowing. The party realized they would need to continue this process for as long as they were here, at least if they didn't want to see the homunculi again. Ashes took over the task after realizing that Matashtai had qualms with it. During the downtime, Ezrah noticed a large, vibrantly colored creature flitting outside of the castle, just within range of Matashtai's lantern of revealing. Also during this time, Ashes was accosted by an unseen servant that took his boots and cloak and stuffed them into a bag along with several other soiled bits of linen and cloth. And then, finally, after a long process of picking the complicated lock, Bones opened the door and stepped inside. And the party heard a massive explosion.
I don't recall that part, but
coming from one of the floors above.
No memory of that.
You have no memory of every week, Zach. Okay, so
it is what it is.
That is the scene that we transition into, right? Ashes. I'm assuming you have taken the time to put your regular boots back on.
Yes, I would like to don my
He's bootless.
boots that I would have gotten from my adventurer's clothes.
Easy enough during this process, right? So you take your spare boots and put those on, so you're not bootless walking around.
Bootless.
But you're cloakless now, and you're just standing over by the lamp, occasionally plucking the gray fruit from it, and it just liquefies and evaporates each time. And Matashtai and Ezrah are about the room as Bones steps into this northern section, and you all hear the explosion. But it does not take it doesn't take you There isn't a "oh God" from Ezrah, Matashtai, and Ashes as Bones steps in. It's a half second for your brains to realize that this explosion is coming from above, not from that chamber. But it is startling. It's loud, and it's not a singular boom, just like massive explosion. It's this repeated detonation that extends for a period of a few seconds.
Did the explosion happen as soon as the door opened?
It did not. Yeah, no, Bones, there was the click. Bones finished up with the actual picking of the door, and if you recall, Bones actually turned to you, Ezra, after the door was opened, and kind of like, asked if you wanted to be the first one in to investigate, this being, magery or what have you. And you declined, and so there was this whole little period after the door opens, and then Bones steps in, and then you hear this explosion.
So it's as he crossed the threshold?
It's not like an immediate, like he didn't just leave your vision and boom, explosions. But it's like he stepped in the room, and at a second or two later, you hear this chain reaction of detonations coming from somewhere above.
Okay.
Bones, for...
Hello.
Matashtai, you're gonna head up
I was
there?
just gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna head up and just kind of make sure everything's all right in here.
Am I exploded?
You are not exploded.
Sweet.
You also hear the explosions, above you, on a floor above you somewhere.
I'll just say, let's wrap it up, boys. I don't know what's going on up there, but best we not dilly-dally around here.
I pluck another bead of homunculus and flick it at him.
It's an hour getting into this room.
It completely evaporates almost before it even leaves your finger to be flicked. The process with which this creature's body liquefies and evaporates is almost instantaneous.
That's gross, Jeremy.
So, Bones, you've stepped into this chamber, and once again, a brief kind of gloss of what you see about you. The walls of the chamber are covered in orbs, scepters, wands, things like that, and there's this kind of lacquer or some sort of glossiness that's kind of coated.
Is there anything in the room that looks like, quote, the greatest helm ever? Does that exist?
Not in your immediate perception, no. There
Can
was
I perceive better?
There was.
And I perceive.
There was the iron chest sitting in the center of the floor, or in the center of the room, right? And it is opened. There's a key in it.
I was going to say, that's almost certainly trapped as fuck, but right? Okay, if it's open.
But you can see, now that you've stepped into the room, you couldn't see previously on the outside of the door because of the angle. Now that you've stepped into the room, you can see into it, and it's just, it's empty.
It's empty? Yeah. I thought there was all that shit on the walls and stuff.
Well, yeah, sure, but I'm saying the chest is empty.
The chest is empty.
Yeah. The room has, shit all around it, but the chest in the center of the room is opened and empty.
Okay, well, guess I'd just like to rifle around and, take the best looking things, obviously.
So you go to start looking around, and I'm assuming Ezra and Matashtai are kind of poking their heads into the chamber as well, right? So yeah. you see as Bones begins to kind of to filter around, everything in the chamber, the stuff caked to the walls, the desk itself, it's all everything except for the chest and the mirror on the eastern wall is coated in some sort of transparent lacquer or something like that. It's like it's all been glued together or glued to the walls. There are a couple things that look noteworthy, Bones, that you kind of like take a second glance at. Some orbs on the walls that are look well made or look like they have like crystal or potentially precious gems in them, right?
Wait, okay. The chest and the mirror are weird. Where's the mirror in the room?
The mirror is on the eastern wall, in the center of the eastern wall.
Okay. Is it like opposite the chest?
No, it's so well, okay, kind of. The doorway, right, leads into the room, and the mirror is directly on the opposite side of the door. So there's legitimately just there's just like a mirror right there, and then there's just a chest kind of like right here in the center of the room. And then there's a desk up here to the north side.
All right, this is some Johnny Quest bullshit. If I look in the mirror, is there stuff in the chest?
You have this kind of like thought, like maybe this is.
I'm
trick,
like, I saw an episode
right?
of Johnny Quest. Okay, no,
Your age is showing, buddy.
It doesn't
they
seem.
never did that in Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest did not deal in magic.
That's what I mean. The fact that you know and I know what Johnny Quest is.
It does not seem so. No. You look in the reflection of the mirror, checking the chest, checking about the room itself. There doesn't seem to be any trickery as far as that is involved.
That's weird. Why is it different? Why they do that? Why'd they do that?
Please tell me I
Ezra!
didn't get the wind knocked out of me for no reason.
Ezra!
I'm right behind you.
There is
What? You're not in the room. Why are you not in the room? There's what? Sorry, go ahead.
there is a little. I guess it probably looks like a trash pail next to the desk.
Okay.
And it's just filled with ash. It's actually got like black char marks up the side of it.
Okay. All right, Ezra. The chest and mirror are weird. I've washed my hands of this, but I still stay here to perceive things.
Does the mirror look of a similar make or model to other mirrors that have been encountered?
It doesn't look like one of Halaster's gates, necessarily.
What if it's a portal? I try and stick my hand through it.
You kind of like reach out and ting slide off the glass.
No, it's
of the
not a
mirror.
portal. It's not a portal, guys.
Well, we've only encountered one mirror portal, so. Does it look like the garbage pail had something in it that was ignited, or was it itself ignited? Can
So, yeah, I mean, it's metallic. It's some sort of metal alloy, something, right, of make. But there's kind of layers of ash in it, like something had been burned and left in there.
Does the ash make it look like the ash was poured in after it was burned, or are there signs in the pail that the
Yeah,
fire
no,
was
there's scorch marks up the side of the pail. It looks like something was burned in the pail.
And the chest you said is open. And it's empty. Without spending some more time, this could be nothing. Maybe we can come back and look later if we have time. Nothing's sparking any moments of inspiration.
Dude, the mirror's so weird, bro. Why is the mirror weird?
I mean,
It's an oval mirror, and the frame, the majority of it's just kind of this gray slate or something along those lines. But the top of it's the same as the face of the homunculus, and it's got an open mouth, almost like it's yawning or something like that. It's making some sort of face, but it's just at the top of the mirror itself, and it does seem to be positioned on the wall, but it's not necessarily built into the wall or anything like that.
It's got the face of the homunculus, you say?
Yeah.
Ashes, bring me one of those abortion beads.
They're disappearing the second I pull them out now.
All right, well, bring it faster.
All right. Next time.
I mean, you guys have seen this half a dozen times or more at this point. When you pluck the fruit from the lamp, it liquefies and evaporates. There's not really a time period with which to maneuver it about or anything like that.
Does it
I mean, if
take
someone's
longer the bigger it is?
Say what?
Does it take longer to evaporate the bigger it is?
If it does, it's only marginal. You're talking about the difference between like maybe a second for the smallest sizes and 2 seconds for the biggest sizes.
Oh.
Like it's not markedly longer.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with that thing. Why is it so clean, though? Doesn't make sense. Alright, is there anything that is not coated in lacquer here that looks like it's a value?
The only 2 things not coated in lacquer are the mirror and the chest. Everything else is coated in lacquer.
Trash room.
It's feasible that you could spend time trying to like hack things out of the lacquer.
I don't want to do that.
But it definitely gives you the impression that even if you are successful, they might come out damaged.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
All right.
It's mage room is beyond me. I am business cat.
And business cat. No business happening in mage room and business cat. All right. So Bones kind of washes his hands of the room. Ezra, Matashtai, you're both still up there. Ashes is still at the lamp, kind of plucking away. Is there anything else that you guys want to do here, or do you move on?
Maybe let it regrow. Maybe it'll talk to us in this room. I mean, if not, we just kill it again and we keep aborting it.
Okay.
Why do we keep killing it afterwards? Why don't we just leave?
Oh, well, that makes more sense now that you say it.
I mean, is there a way we
I
can,
didn't think that far ahead. I don't know.
when we shut the door, is there a way that we could potentially bar the door and maybe slow it down from chasing after us? Because it seems like it can operate a door, as it has come out of here several times, and the door did not seem marred.
Are you asking me, or are you asking your party?
The door's like 30 feet that way.
You mean this one?
I mean the one that we can leave the castle from. I'm just saying, if need be. I'm not saying leave the castle yet right now.
I'm just saying so that we can continue exploring without the thing harrying us every 30 minutes.
I don't have anything to bar a door with. I got a 10-foot pole.
I got a lot of random junk, but I don't think I have anything that will hold a door.
Is there a lock on the front door? Can I lock it? Reverse pick lock?
Does not seem to have a lock.
Huh. I guess we just keep dealing with it then. I don't know.
Reverse pick.
Yeah, it's the thing, right? You lock.
You know, lock.
Yeah,
lock
lock.
instead of unlock? I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea. There's just no no lock on the door to this larger chamber.
What kind of handle is on the door?
These doors actually have kind of more modern doorknob handles. Kind of a little strange, honestly. You haven't seen very many of those around Waterdeep.
And what's the ground's made out of a stone?
Yeah,
or
very
something
smooth
like
gray stone, almost liquidy in texture.
that. Hey, Ashes, I've got a plan, but I might need your help. By might, I mean I do need your help.
Right.
I pull out a piton. And does the door swing out or swing in?
It
Out
swings
into the hallway
It swings
or
into the room.
Okay. So I lead him out into the hallway with the piton about maybe 10 feet from the door. And do you think you can get this to embed in the ground or in one of the walls or something like that? And
Yeah, sure. Like, I mean, I'll try.
and maybe give it a little bit of a hook at the top so I can tie some rope to it.
Sure. I try.
Okay, you're just trying to slam a mitten into a seam or something like that, right?
Just.
So we'll do this. Roll me a strength or athletics check.
Okay, hey, before we
DC
ruin the door forever, are we?
We're not going to ruin the door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not doing this to the door. They're doing it to the floor with the intention of, kind of barring the door. Okay. So you are able to kind of hammer the piton into the seam of the floor and the wall at an angle with which it seems like it is relatively stable, and you don't destroy the shit out of the piton or the floor and the wall, right? So it all actually holds.
Easy.
Which means now, Ezra, you have a anchor point with which to tether the doorway from, I assume is what you're trying to do?
Some hemp twine that I've got,
Okay.
and I cut a length appropriate and tie it around. Once everyone leaves the room, shut the door, tie it around the door, and
I'll wait till there's like another bead of homunculus to pluck, and then just to reset our timer.
Gotcha. Pluck it. Hop out of the room. Tie up the door, and when all is said and done, you're able to tether the door shut. It doesn't seem like it will hold against a concerted effort for a long duration, right?
just seems to be a hindrance.
Even just one of you, I mean, not Ashes, obviously. Ashes is fucking strong as shit, but like any of the rest of you, you could get your way out of this just by tugging on it, but it would take you a while, right? Like you'd have to continuously do it to either eventually fray the rope or eventually yank the piton free. So it's not a permanent solution, but it seems like it'll work for a while.
How much rope did that take to, or twine did it take to?
We'll say 10 feet.
80 remain. Well, that should at least slow it down for a little bit, if we want to.
And it'll be loud too. If you guys are nearby, and that happens, it should be rather loud.
All right.
So.
Works for me.
That said and done, you find yourselves once more out in the hallway. Castle. Still a mystery. Where do you want to go?
To the Splorin. Next room.
Okay. Bones just starts to head northward. I'm assuming everyone kind of follows to the next doorway. Okay?
Yes, please.
All right. Fantastic. You find yourself in another. You realize you're kind of like moving from corner to midsection to corner, etc. So you find another kind of antechamber, open space antechamber with a doorway. There is a door that leads more into the central section, but you also see to the north the crook of stairs leading up.
Walk upstairs leading up.
What would you like to investigate first?
Oh. Hey, do you guys want to investigate the explosion from upstairs? Or do you think we should, like, look at more rooms?
You know how to go upstairs? Have we seen steps?
There's stairs right there. Are you blind?
You're just
Ashes?
describing.
Oh. Yeah, alright. Okay. Stairs. Alright, Matt. I see. You can stop pointing, Matt. Matt, stop pointing.
Matt does that thing where he walks up behind you and he get like an arm over the shoulder down the side of your eyes,
Right
like
there.
right there.
I see it. I see it. Stop. Stop.
Even
I think it's there.
Arthur's judging
It's
you.
there. It's there.
Oh.
Okay, so yes or no, guys? Do we want to
Oh,
go upstairs, or do we want to try and find the explosion, or do we want to methodically look through doors? I don't care. It's one way or the other.
Whatever blew up is not going to unblow up by the time we get up there.
And what if it's like gathering in power?
The
All right,
explosion?
those in favor of clearing this floor first, raise your hand.
I am indifferent.
Indifferent.
Indifferent means you don't vote. Okay, so we do what I want.
Alright.
We go to this
The
door.
voting session has ended.
All right,
1-0.
done and done. Okay, okie dokie.
Sounds like a good old parliamentary vote.
Matashtai enacts the vote as the party stands in the quiet, eerie
Ended-
hallway.
Ended on party lines.
And then decides, all right, we're going this way. Walks over to this door, and door is very typical compared to what you have seen so far in the castle. And wedged into the door frame is a tiny silver coin.
Ah. 10x what the last one was.
I wonder
Imagine what's on the top floor.
if copper indicates junk, maybe silver indicates more quality.
Okay, I note where in the door the silver piece is.
I'll let you
Okay.
know if they start dropping platinum pieces.
And then I
We know you
remove
have
the
sticky
silver
fingers.
piece.
Look, I don't know if your boy can resist that.
Fair enough. Okay, remove the silver piece.
And then I open the door.
Okay, and you open the door.
Skirt. Okay, I'll drift around the corner. Sorry.
Open the door. As this happens, I need
Uh-oh. Things usually go bad when Jeremy needs something from us.
Look, don't be like that. I need
Constitution saving throws from all of you.
Hey!
I need Ezrah to make me a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Just Ezra.
You said wisdom save?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Oh,
less
no.
than ideal.
All right. Matashtai, you pull the silver piece from the door. Everyone steps up around you, and you open the doorway. And as you do, you all hear this kind of and then your attention is drawn back behind you, where it seems like the sound is emanating from, not from the room. And you see just the last little glimmers as some gaseous substance plumes around Ezra, and he gets like a big hit of it. And then his eyes begin to kind of glaze over.
He's whammied, I slap him.
You step forward and slap him.
No, not yet. Not until he starts acting weird. When he starts acting weird, I will, though.
Okay.
You're
Does
holding your
anyone
action
does anyone
to
do
slap a
anything?
bitch.
I
In
hold my
response.
action to slap him.
Okay,
I mean,
so-
yeah, I'm not gonna like. Is there like a cloud lingering?
No. It's very so the fumes. It's almost kind of like mirage hazy, right? There's little hints of gas, but they kind of like poof, and then it's just dissipated.
So, Ezra, you okay?
Ezra, roll me a d6.
Roll for okayedness.
Boah.
Okay. Roll me a 1d3.
Two.
Ezra kind of like looks at you bleary-eyed, bleary with super red eyes, right? Just like
He's high.
blinks a little bit, kind of turns, giggles, and starts to stumble towards the stairs, getting as far as the base of the stairs before any of you. You're all kind of like, wait, what? And then you're like, oh,
I
hold
feel
up.
like that triggers my held action to slap him.
You're gonna walk over and slap
As he
him
walks
as he
by,
gets to the base
No,
of the
I'm
stairs?
gonna take my opportunity attack.
Yeah. Did you? So you ran up next to him and just held a slap? Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
That's what I
dare
said.
you.
All right. Okay. So there's a slapping moment.
Black.
Roll an unarmed strike. I guess because
I will do that.
Can you miss me?
Yeah. I crit
No.
you.
Christ.
That's all I have on my bar. It's still an unarmed strike. I'm not clawing the boy.
Okay. So you do.
Take a
What's your
chunk
strength
out of his
modifier?
face.
0.
Okay, so you do two damage to Ezra as you just slap the shit out of him.
Is
Snap out of
the,
it.
is the 1 damage doubled with a crit?
I don't know. It's not technically a dice roll, so
I don't
I'm
know.
unclear on that.
It's a weird question. I don't care either which way. I just thought about it. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, I honestly never really thought about it. I was just like, we won't. We'll let you take one on this one.
I don't
Okay.
care.
I'm not gonna argue.
I'm sure I'll have a reason to argue that later in the campaign
Ezra.
on some weird niche situation.
Bones slaps you as you walk by, but you still kind of like walk by to the edge of the stairs. Roll me another wisdom saving throw.
Can't it be
Yeah.
something other than wisdom?
Nope.
Snap out of it!
Wow.
Wow. An
Man,
18
snap-
and a 20.
Did I snap him out of it?
Okay,
Hell yeah.
Ezra, you're at the base of the steps. Your cheek hurts, and your eyes sting, and there's kind of like a little tickle in your throat. But you snap out of it. You kind of turn, and the only kind of like residual aside from the stinging eyes and tickling in your throat is I don't know why, but you kind of feel a little like happy.
Do I remember the last couple of seconds, or is it just gone?
Very vaguely, right? Like you remember breathing something, right? And then you remember thinking that those stairs look real interesting, and then you tried walking over there and Bones slapped you.
Ow. I was just checking out the stairs.
Liar, you were whammy.
You were being weird.
You were higher than Ash
inhaled
that time you got
something
into the
and were
water.
acting weird.
You all hear.
You were being weird.
You all hear, and it seems to come from almost everywhere around you at the same time. You hear this.
Do we recognize the laugh?
What are we
No.
going to do?
No, you do not.
Does it sound incorporeal? Like, from a location standpoint, does it sound incorporeal, or does it sound like it's coming from up the stairs?
It sounds like it's coming from all around you, like it's echoing down from the stairs, but also down from the hallway and from in the room. I mean, to you, Ezra, automatically it's suspicious. It stinks of trickery, of magic of some sort, potentially.
Trickery.
Lippo running.
Anyone else's eyes burning right now?
I feel great.
Nope, feel pretty good.
Fine.
Ezra has a serious case of red eye right now.
Yeah, you fucking hippie.
I wonder if I can heal that. And
Peace.
poke you in the eyeballs.
Ow! Why is everyone hitting me?
I don't know that that's gonna heal it. But are you gonna like use a key point or something like
I'm
that?
not
try-
actually gonna use anything right now.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
All right. Well, why don't you stick with us? Don't go up the stairs, and I go and check out this room.
I'll watch him.
Okay, you peek your head into the room. Everyone a little like on edge. What the fuck just happened, right? But when you look into the room, you see that it's barren. And it's clean. Like clean. Not like Mr. Clean, squeaky, spotless. But there's no dust or anything like that. It seems like something has kept the room cleaned up. And there's this... There's just this air of nothingness here. Like, the whole rest of the castle has this kind of almost creepy, eerie, abandoned vibe. This room is just clean. Calm.
Okay.
Like, no sign of dust or...
No sign of dust.
I get out and close the door. That reminds me of fucking gelatinous cubes.
Okay.
I've got a protocol for that.
There is a protocol for that.
And
Right.
foot rods.
Door closed.
You put the coin back?
I replace the coin in the same spot.
Place the coin. Not difficult to do as long as you're taking the time to notate and, making sure you remember where things are. You find yourselves one more room explored at the base of a staircase, another room here to the eastern portion or the central portion of the castle, and then back down south and to the east, other chambers yet unexplored. Where to now?
Do we want to explore the other side of this floor first before going upstairs?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
And we.
So
loop
you
around?
don't
Oh,
have
I
to
just took off.
like
I just
zip
took off.
around.
Why don't we go to this door and see what's in here?
Oh,
Which
no,
one?
I thought we tried that one for some reason.
No, we didn't.
And that might lead to the other hallway.
So you listen to the voice of reason of, hey, maybe this just goes through. And you investigate the next door. This door, ashes. As you guys come up next to this door with the intent of kind of like actually going into it, you're all awares, ready, right? You get this whiff, this odor of kind of like the heavy scent of moist earth. And there's this faint underlining odor of like decay, like plant decay.
Smells like wet dirt in there. And rot.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It just smells like kind of like a forest after a rain.
It's a rain room?
Yes. A rain room. What's a rain room?
A room that rains.
A room that rains. Long may it rain.
All right. Well, let's go check out the rain room.
Okay. There's no coin here. Just a door. Ashes braves the door. First and foremost. And the door opens into a larger chamber. And within this larger chamber, that suddenly what Ashes is smelling, you all start smelling. That scent of moist earth. With just this kind of like faint underlying odor of rot. This room has multiple piles, and really they're less piles and more stacks of small, tiny, interlocking clay bricks. And the piles themselves are set atop relatively old, slightly rotting wooden pallets. And they just kind of like stack throughout the chamber itself. There's just these stacks of clay bricks on wooden pallets.
All right. I have no need of clay bricks.
There's a door to the south, in the southeast corner, geometrically aligned to the courtyard. And then there's another door leading eastward. So potentially Ezra's guess was correct.
Eastward it is.
Huh?
Onward and eastward.
You head into the chamber, pick your way around the various stacks of clay, bricks.
Poke one of the bricks. Is it mushy or is it hard?
It pokes back.
Great. Now we gotta fight bricks.
No, they're hard. They're set. They look like they've been fired. Well, most of them look like they've been fired. There's a slight discoloration compared to on some of them compared to others. So there is some sort of differentiation there, but you're not sure what. But most of them are hard, yeah. There
Open
is
the door.
a... And I need ashes to make a
You were
DC
making
15
noises.
wisdom saving throw. Yeah, there's this big, like, hissing sound in the air. And I need ashes to make a DC 15 wisdom saving throw.
Easy.
Last time, was it when Ezra was far away from me?
Ashes,
Yeah.
you are also suddenly plumed by this kind of noxious gas.
Oh no, me too.
As you are the last to step into the room. And as you do, you kind of your heightened lichen senses, right? Like your sense of smell, it kind of like triggers this natural instinct to just hold your breath, right? And as that happens, kind of involuntarily swing your head around and you see just out of the corner of your eye, you see a massive violet shape that suddenly vanishes and is gone.
What would you say if, as a reaction, would I have like an opportunity to like grab my hand crossbow and like at it?
Definitely not as like a reaction, right? But it's the scenario of like you saw the thing out of the corner of your eye. If you wanted to try to do something like shoot in that area, we're not jumping into combat necessarily, so it's not gonna be a reaction. But if you wanted to like pull your hand crossbow out and fire in that direction, you could try and see what happens.
Because I righted up a bolt before he came in.
Good.
It's still rote.
Roted?
Rotated.
Rotate.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a shot. All
Yeah,
right,
sure,
I'm on
absolutely. Okay. So your instinctive reaction as you catch whatever this thing is out of the corner of your eye is to just turn and fire. So
14.
I need you to roll at disadvantage because you
Okay.
can't see the thing.
Also, I'm not feraled anymore. But that attack is rote. Like crossbow, normal. That would be a 10.
Your bolt scatters off the wall past where you fire, and almost immediately afterwards, again, you all hear that kind of like
I missed it. Sorry.
You missed what?
Not sure. It is the best thing I got. Something else is in here other than the homunculus.
What did it look like?
Purple.
Like purple wings? Like the thing that was flying outside?
this is
There's
just a big
one of
purple mass for you, Ashes.
It was just purple.
That tasted purple.
Back to my question before. Did both of these events happen like far away from me?
So it does seem as if each time this has happened, it is when someone is straggling just a little bit. They're just closer to the edge of your lantern's revealing light, rather than being like right next to you.
I don't know what to do with that information yet, but I have it.
You
Open
have
it
it.
up.
That's-
Open the lantern up real big.
That's information, and you have it.
I don't think I can make it bigger than it is now.
Oh, I thought you had it all.
Who
Put it
thinks they would be the absolute fastest at reacting and being able to get any kind of damage on it?
up. The guy with 22 dexterity?
Because
Ezra
I feel like
Ezra thinks
maybe
Ezra.
I could write somebody else's weapon.
Ooh.
then
Can you do
I could-
that? Can you write someone else's shit?
I mean, if I can write a bolt and shoot it.
I don't know, actually. I thought you had to keep it in your hand.
I thought
Yeah.
you lose the right when it leaves your hand, yeah.
For like melee weapons. But it works for bolts and arrows. And I'm assuming it works for thrown daggers.
Wait, so you write the arrow, you don't write the bow?
Correct.
Yeah,
and
it's
it
actually
sucks
shitty.
because you have to take damage for every bolt you want to write.
That's kind of
That makes no sense.
that's a weird balancing choice.
As when you activate a single weapon with elemental blah blah, you lose a number of blah blah blah.
Die.
Regardless,
As a
open the
bonus.
store.
Oh, okay. It lasts you to finish a short or long rest, or if you aren't holding the weapon at the end of your turn.
Oh,
It's like 6 seconds.
So I guess you have to hold it and quickly toss it to someone? That
Okay,
seems
then that's not gonna
unfeasible.
did y'all hear that?
No.
No.
I'm assuming not. Okay, we just got a big spike of like lightning and thunder, so it's
Oh, no.
it's coming, Jay.
Oh no, it's a coming.
It's coming.
Actually,
that
I
was
wonder how
scary
far
because
away
I
it
actually
is.
like looked at Casey, and there was this flash of light, and I thought a light bulb had kind of like blown or something like that, and then the thunder sounded, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Is that different from Old Blood Hunter? It doesn't say you have to write ammunition individually in this one.
I might not have read it.
No, I recall that being in the original one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
in the OG.
You okay, Mama?
That's how I've
It's
been. Anytime
spooked.
I've righted a bolt,
I'm
I've been
sorry.
doing it that way.
You're spooked.
You guys got some big storms coming?
Apparently.
Yeah, I checked my weather. It looks like whatever you're dealing with, I'm gonna get in about 4 hours.
Good to know.
Oh, I got hail earlier, so yeah.
Nice.
Aren't you on the opposite side of them?
No, he's north of us.
I'm
We're
northwest.
northwest of us. So
Yeah, I depending on the front.
trajectory.
Yeah.
The things are coming. Anyways, so something whatever
Wicked, this
tried
becomes-
something whatever gassed Ezra tried gassing Ashes, failed, and Ashes took a quick shot at it, but was unable to score a blow on it. And Matashtai has potentially surmised that this is only really happening when people are kind of like on the outskirts of his lantern's light. Specifically, for clarity, on the outskirts of the revealing portion of the light, not the whole
Right, the
light.
bright one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's some invisible.
It's
guy.
absolutely the thing that was outside of the castle. It is now inside the castle,
Sounds right to me.
without question.
So,
Mayhap it is their castle.
what would
Is
you
he
like?
Maybe
to
they
do?
are Otto.
Damn, do you think it was Mad Goth?
No,
Oh,
it
sorry,
could be
Motto?
Otto though.
Alright. So you guys are in this room with these clay bricks on old rotting pallets.
Yeah, are we staying? We're staying together now.
I think the idea is we're gonna stay within the lantern's revealing light.
Well,
Okay.
for clarity,
And
both you and
we
Ezra
stayed in.
were within the lantern's revealing light. But
Well,
you were
obviously,
close
whatever-
enough to
It
the
was not.
edge of
Yeah,
it.
whatever it's doing has to do with range. It has range, so we all got to stand right on Matt. Matt, carry all of us.
I move
Ezra
on
starts
top of
climbing
Matt.
on Matt's back.
I'm on that.
Like Yoda. Like a
Okay.
weird elven Yoda.
I mean, I've seen
Lanky
stranger
elven Yoda.
things in a D&D game than 4 party members hugging each other as they go through a dungeon.
Now we
We're
combine
gonna
and we
totem
create
pole it.
the
This is
Dungeon of
nice.
Mad Mage.
You're gonna
Dungeon.
combine!
Okay. You're the weird goblins from the Cholt adventure. It's fine.
I don't recall
Alright,
that
I open
being
the
a
door.
reference.
Okay.
I devote myself to trying to see the thing.
Door open. Okay, so you're gonna
I'm devoting myself to watch. Dagger watch. 2021.
Dagger watch. All right. Door opens, and beyond, you find
I'm not on top of that. Okay.
another chamber where there is a large, very large, almost the majority of the chamber itself down in the
Much too
south,
large.
right? There is this massive stove, this oven built into the south wall, and it's got this huge mouth, almost kind of like a pizza oven or something like that, you know? And then there are a half a dozen slabs of this clay, and there's stone molds stacked on shelves throughout the room. But there's that kind of like slightly rotted smell, that smell of decay. It's pretty bad here, and that those piles of clay are discolored. You see like large patches of what look like mold or something like that across them.
What's this castle made out of? Just looking at the wall. Is it made out of stone? Or is it
Yeah, it's some sort of
fired clay?
it's some sort of gray stone, it seems like.
Okay.
And Bones, being a dwarf, can
Yeah.
attest to that.
Well, I'm a dwarf. Yeah, that's me.
It's definitely stone, but it's unnatural in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Dwarf cat strikes again.
Dwarf cat.
Alright. I'll move to the next door.
Okay. Throw the door open.
Shming.
Oh. And you find a hallway. An identical hallway to the one that you had seen on the western side, only it is on the eastern side. Another little antechamber, another set of stairs leading up, a little room, there's another door to the south, etc.
Okay. I approach the door. Check for any coins.
This is the part where I tell you all I'm not moving your characters.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well,
Here's where you get blasted.
You blasted!
Blasted.
Alright, you move up to this door. Now kind of just in exploration mode, just kind of like, okay, something's happening here. Let's hop to it. Let's get through some of these rooms and figure out what's going on. As you come up to this doorway, similar doorway to what you've seen before, there is a fat, kind of strange looking. You've never seen a coin of this nature, but there's a fat gold coin wedged into the doorframe.
gold, you say?
Okay.
Gold.
Take the coin out, noting where it was,
Sure.
and then I open the door.
Okay. Door creaks on its hinges as you push it open, and in the room beyond, you find what might have been a library or a study once upon a time. there are just empty bookshelves lining the walls, and there's a single barren table standing in the middle of the room. Very oddly, there are no chairs. But, yeah, it seems like a library or a study, only no books. Like, everything's been moved out.
Ezra's nightmare. Alright. Then move on.
Okay.
Back to the hallway.
Closing the
Heading down
door,
this way.
replacing the coin.
Yep.
You don't want to fight the mimic?
No, I'm good.
There's a mimic? Are we sure?
There was just a table in the middle of the room. A table.
No, it's not a boat. Guess it's fine.
Get mimic boat.
I don't know what you're talking about. Alright. Matashtai heads south, looking towards the next doorway.
Mimic boat that fills its interior with acid.
Mimic boat. As you step forward towards this chamber, you see that there is a copper coin wedged into the doorframe.
I pluck it,
Weird.
notating where it goes, and open the door.
Right.
You two are being left behind.
Well, okay, sorry.
Throw the door open, and beyond you find
More doors.
more doors.
Mordor!
More doors. Oh shit, more doors.
One
No,
does
this
not
room.
simply walk
This room
into more
is
doors.
jam packed. This room is filled to the brim. It contains. There's a big table in the center of it. There are multiple stoves, cauldrons set over those stoves. There are cooking utensils hanging from myriad racks and shelves, and there's just food lining the countertops. All in various states of preparation. You're suddenly all hit with these aromas, the smell of cooking meat, of something braising. There's kind of like a bubbling coming from one of the cauldrons, and there's this kind of like almost fresh smell from all of the food in this place. There are cupboards and drawers lining every bit of free wall space and under every countertop, etc. And there are a lot of things moving around here. It would look potentially, I don't know if it looks more strange or less strange with the lantern revealing, but you see a half a dozen silhouetted shapes revealed by the lantern that are busying themselves about this kitchen, going through the preparations of cooking.
Which one of you assholes have my shoes?
And almost as that happens, right, as you step in, you see one of these silhouettes grab a platter and step down to this southern doorway. The door opens, and the servant disappears beyond. And none of them seem to respond to your question, Ashes.
They must be clean as hell.
I'm stepping down here. Is this like a dining room?
Yeah, you go kind of like curious. You peek your head. You weave through the unseen servants as they're busying themselves about the kitchen. They don't seem to take notice or affront at your presence. But in the southern chamber, right, there is a big green marble dining table surrounded by 12 high-back oak, like, resplendent chairs just sitting in the middle of the chamber, and this unseen servant is busy putting food out from the platter that it has onto an already fully serviced table that is no one sitting at it. And you see the unseen servant picks up some things, puts down the things that it's carrying off of the tray that it has, and then picks up other things and puts it back onto the tray, leaving empty spaces. But the things that it's taking are untouched. And then it just walks back towards you, and kind of halts because you're all kind of in the doorway, right? And
I moved to the side to let it through.
And then it just passes, and you see it walks past you and walks up to one of the big kind of like stoves that is just crackling, roaring, right? And it sets the tray down, and it begins to take each of the dishes untouched and empty them, throw them into the fire, right? And then take the now emptied dishes out, carry them over to a sink, start watching, and you realize as it's doing this, there is already another tray of food that is being prepared to be brought into the dining chamber.
Damn. Food whenever you want it.
And
Alright,
it smells great in here, by the way.
I'll walk up to the table. I'll look at the food. Does it look like just assuming we don't have to like RP exactly what the courses are, but
It's duck breast.
When Ashes looks at a banquet, what is Ashes looking for? What do your eyes immediately look for? Sure. There are a dozen or more different large meat dishes of many different cultures. You're not a especially well-traveled individual, but you've heard enough of the world and you know enough of the world to kind of like identify, I've seen that, I've had that, I've heard of that, and I have no idea what the fuck that is. Right? And there's just dishes from everywhere here.
I mean, we've only been eating rations for a bit. This could be really good.
Smells mouth-watering.
All right, let's have some food.
It could be cursed.
Well, check it with your magic mumbo jumbo.
My magic mumbo jumbo.
Yep.
Why don't you use your magic mumbo jumbo? You know, the alien kind.
magic.
No.
I think
No.
actually, as Ashes is saying that, Matashtai hears in his mind at the same time, yeah, your alien magic.
All right, screw it.
Don't encourage
Just because I want to see if something happens, I'll just grab out a piece of meat. And I'll.
Delicious. Satisfying. Good chew, good flavor, well cooked, good ingredients.
Shit. It's good.
I'd like to eat some.
Okay. And there are, like I said, dozens of dishes. Various meat-based dishes, various vegetable-based dishes. There's fresh bread that's still kind of like steaming a little bit. There are fruits in a little tray. There's a little charcuterie board. Grab whatever you're interested in.
I'll take a leg of something.
Oh,
I
Are
dig
we
in.
gonna sit here and partake? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I'll just take a leg of something.
I'll just eat something real quick.
So y'all are just taking a little nibble. You're not,
Ow.
you're not having a feast or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, there goes me casting Identify on something.
Well, guess we're cursed.
Ezra chooses not to partake.
Okay. Alright. There's a door leading out to the west, but you're
Oh,
pretty
yes,
sure
yeah.
that's the door that you saw in the hallway. And then there are still 2 doors up in the kitchen. It's a little bit of a hustle and bustle in there, so it's hard for you guys to all maneuver through there, but, you know, the unseen servants don't seem, you know, disturbed by your presence as long as you're not too terribly in their way. What do you want to do now?
Check more doors.
Well, as you guys are kind of like, you take your little bites and your drumsticks and your whatnot, right?
Take one to go.
As you're getting ready to like walk back out, there's another unseen servant that walks in with a tray of food, and the things that you have touched, it starts pulling off the table, putting things in its place, and takes those things and continues going through the motions.
Where are they getting it all? Like,
It's called magic.
I'm watching. I'm
Magic!
watching I'm in the kitchen. I'm watching for them to where they bring the food in.
Okay,
to prep.
so you see, through this process, there are other unseen servants that are moving through the 2 doorways, not just like moving through them like ghosts, but opening them, closing them, etc. And you catch a glimpse when they're thrown open. They're little pantries. The one to the north is a pantry filled with all different types of foodstuffs, grains, meats, vegetables, etc. Everything seems either perfectly fresh or perfectly preserved, right? There's no hint or sign of, you know, maybe this has been here for a little while, or maybe this is going bad, or anything like that. It's all pristine quality.
If I sit here for a second and watch an unseen servant, or if I watch just an item lift off the shelf and go into the next room to be prepared, like, does it just, the spot on the shelf that was taken, does it stay empty?
A few seconds, you watch as a servant lifts off this big hanging garland of garlic, basically, and then another one goes in and walks out with this big ham hock. And about 6 seconds after the items are taken, pop, identical versions pop back into existence in their place.
Damn, sick.
The room to the south, the other one, is it's just filled with jars, decanters, casks, bottles. There's sagging wooden shelves holding up all of the various liquid containers in this chamber.
Well, this room alone can solve world hunger.
This room suck. I leave. No, sorry. I leave to Matt's side.
I leave to Matt's side. Good specification. Okay.
I open the door.
Okay. You're heading, what, back into the hallway?
Hallway!
Then I think we're gonna head south and check out this final door.
To the second to final door.
Okay. Head back into this.
To the final door. Is the final
Back into this kind of
door.
like antechamber scenario room here. And wedged into this door frame. And this one is actually, this door frame is a little different. This one is stained glass, and it doesn't depict anything. It's just various colors, right? But it is very pretty. And wedged into its frame is a towel. Not like a towel, but a very unusual piece of currency.
I love unusual things.
Sorry, I heard unusual currency. Did you say what type of currency it was?
Yeah, it's a towel. I think is how it's pronounced. I'm trying to remember what the fuck it actually is. It's a really unusual Waterdavian currency.
It's a brass coin, about 2-inch square, with a hole large enough to fit a nib in.
Okay.
Yes.
Equals 200 copper pieces.
There you go.
Mm.
It's like a $50. I think, like on the
Doesn't that
equivalency.
equal out to like
Isn't that 2 gold?
2 silver?
Technically 2 gold.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
2 gold.
okay.
So I guess
well,
not a $50. But I mean,
Oh, yeah,
I mean on the
yeah, yeah.
rarity, like it's not used real, like it exists, but I don't know that any of you have ever like used one in Waterdeep or maybe even seen one in Waterdeep. They're just like they're currency that exists, but it's not really common to use them.
Alright, we open the door.
Okay. Door open. Aha!
Daha.
Aha! You fools, you've activated my trap card.
Awesome. The warding glyph ignites.
This room is filled with
Poop.
hundreds of chests and trunks of varying sizes, all stacked up, forming neat rows with narrow aisles winding between them. Almost every inch of the room has been utilized to the point to where you can't see portions of the wall throughout the room because it's just blocked off by walls of trunks and chests.
Chests, you say?
They full of items?
You gonna investigate some?
I would like to look in one.
Throw one open and it is empty. Barren.
Oh my god, it's a room of bullshit chests.
Okay, I take Tamakiri and I tap this with this empty one with it closed, and I get familiar with the sound of it.
Makes a semi-hollow noise, sure. Okay.
And then I move around to each one, tapping them.
Alright, you're trying to identify the sound of a hollow chest. Okay, I gotcha. Make me an investigation check as you move around the room.
Yeah, I'm so good at these.
I'm on Purple Watch 2021 still.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, they all seem empty. I mean, there are varying degrees of that hollow sound, but it all sounds hollow. Fine, right?
Right?
Well, it seems pretty empty to me, guys.
Right?
It's a chest storage room.
Okay, well, that sucks.
It's a chest storage room.
All right,
Weird way to do it, but
let's
I
go
leave.
upstairs.
Okay. Alright. So, all of the chambers that you're aware of explored upon the first floor of the castle. Party decides to head up the stairs. Are you guys going to go towards the western stairs or the eastern stairs? Or do you not care?
I don't care.
We're closer to the eastern, so I'm gonna
Eastern
assume
stairs. So you head down the hallway, making sure to remain close to one another. Bones on fierce lookout for a purple
Fierce.
entity. And I think that is where we will go ahead and take our break as you all put feet upon the staircase leading up to the second level of Otto's castle.
Yay!
We'll be back in just a little bit. Bye-bye, everybody.
Sick.